Hello, I'm Alicia. I'm going to be talking about chapter 7, which is social thinking and social influence. I did this with my group last week, or not last week, but Wednesday in class. Um, Basically, the discussion went pretty well. We talked about conforming and how social pressures can take effect on people of different races, different genders, different sexualities. Um, Basically, talking about how we as people have to be seen as a certain way in order to get things that you want, or in order to be treated the same way as someone who is more like socially liked. Um, One of the first things we talked about was making a good impression on someone or people in general. If you want to like get the job, you have to look a certain way as far as like looking professional, right? Um, but some people might have a harder challenge because of like how they look or because of social stigmas. Like exhibit A, someone with like afro hair would be rejected because of their hair looking unprofessional or being seen as unprofessional. That's like honest. I mean, because it's not true, it's like a disrespectful type of thing and a way to discriminate against people of color who have hair that's curly. Although there are people who don't have, who are like they have curly hair, but might not be a person of color. But just like certain things like that would contribute to someone having a more challenging time getting something like a job. Um, we also talked about prejudice briefly towards the end of our video. We basically gave examples of like relationships as far as someone preferring someone else over them, like another person, because of their um, their race. Like it might not be like super known, but on Twitter, that's what the example I used. Like there was like someone, an African American man, who said that he preferred like every other race besides black women, like African American women, and he did this just openly without anything telling him or forcing him. He was just like, I prefer like everybody except black women. And you know, it can be seen as prejudice, but we thought as a group that it was a little bit more than that. Like we don't know where it stems from, but we saw that as something else instead of just prejudice. So yeah, that's an example of prejudice in a way, sort of. Something that we really did not talk about that was also in the chapter was called the power of persuasion. Getting someone to uh, agree with what you're saying or agree to doing something to get someone's, like, not control, but get their just agreement on something that you need. And people that are pretty powerful in this area tend to be like likable personality wise, as far as like being friendly and smiling and appearing like someone you could trust, which brings me to trustworthy being another quality. That's how most people get what they want, appearing trustworthy, even though they might not be trustworthy. Um, it could be like manipulating a little bit, but moving on. Being physically attractive, so like looking like you have like a healthy little routine of going to the gym every day, or being the standard of having little to no blemishes, having um, like thin or in shape like figures like on your body, like legs or like arms, face, stomach, like just appearing healthy, I guess, um, because there is a social like thing of not or discriminating against people who are like more thick or having bigger like what do you call it, like a body shape, um, because people have always used that skinny is the best, like skinny is the standard for like modeling, and people aspire to be skinny because of this, and now people have a thing against people who might not fit that standard. So just appearing skinny or appearing healthy can get someone landed a job or get landed um, like anything that they want, because like the world is their oyster. And that was about it for like how like the qualities of being effective. There's probably a super like a longer list, but and then the next thing was power of social pressure. Um, it was just basically talking about conforming, um, being forced to agree with something that you don't typically agree with for the sake of fitting in, or um, getting friends, having people that associate with you who won't make you feel like you're an outsider. Um, they're just forcing you to agree with their ideas, which might make you uncomfortable and have an inner fight with yourself because this is not something you believe in. And you're doing it just because if you don't, people will look at you funny or will just be in disagreement with you with everything. And that's usually how it goes. And people can sometimes be really critical and rude to people to the point of like bullying because they don't agree with issues that they agree with. And this could be a matter of like many different issues we suffer from, like as far as like gun control, abortion, uh, what is it called, LGBTQ plus IA, like there's so many things that could be contributed or associated with this notion of conforming, breaking you down, telling you that you can't believe in this through like being disrespectful and rude. So, yep, that was pretty much chapter 7, and my group was pretty great, just as usual. The flow was nice, and I liked talking with them. It was really easy to talk with them. So, thank you for coming.